Your 4-minute lesson. My name's Cal. We're going to be looking at the Cigarbox Guitar Toolbox. This is quite a recent book I've written in the collection, but it's such a fun instrument to play. And I've shown before, this is actually made out of an old Mississippi number plate, actually made locally in South Australia, and it's a beautiful piece to play as well. So I've got one that's actually from Colorado as well, a number plate. So some people in America are looking for their extra number plate at the moment. So we're going to play basically an open G tune cigar box, which means that string is tuned to G, that string is tuned to D, and that string is tuned to like a middle G sound as well, G, D, G, which means it's an open tuning, which means when you strum it, it's a G chord. So we looked at one of the lessons previously, we looked at how to play G, C, and then D, simply by playing the open string, the 5th fret, and the 7th fret. So obviously that's a really excellent thing to be able to do because there's so many songs in G, C, D, and so many songs with just 3 chords. You know, as I said, Baboon Rising, Sweet Alabama, you know, La Bamba, millions of these songs are written in 3 chords. So you can actually play Cigarbox along to any of these songs. But we also want to be able to play in different keys as well. So how we do that is we need to create what they call a new nut. So new nut means you start from the chord you're in. So say the key is in the key of C. We call that your number 1 chord. Then play the next chord up, we need to go 5 frets up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which happens to be the 10th fret. So that'd be your F chord. And then 2 frets beyond that would be your G chord. So that if you're playing in the key of C, then you can actually play the C chord, the F chord, and the G chord. And that's what they call the 1, 4, 5 of C, meaning it goes C, D, E, F, G. C, F, and G are your 1, 4, 5, which means it's the most common relationship between chords in a scale, the 3 major chords. So if you're playing a song in the key of C, then you can basically create a new nut, meaning that's the top of your cigar box. Instead of the G, you're moving it up to C. And then we can also do it in every single key. So the thing about cigar box guitars and ukuleles and guitars is things are movable, which makes them brilliant for us to learn because it makes it so simple. Because if you want to play in the key of D, we start with this new nut at the 7th fret. We go 5 frets up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which happens to be the 12th fret. That's your G chord, and then or your open G chord. And then we can either play the 14th fret as an A, or we could play the 2nd fret. Because once you've got past the double dots on your cigar box, then the fretboard goes back around on itself. So we call this part of the fretboard the mini-me fretboard, which is kind of a mini version of the big fretboard. So if you're playing the 12th fret, that also means open fret. It's what's called an octave. So in the key of D, you can either go 7, 12, 14, or 7, open, 2, D, G, A, or D, G, A. And that means we can actually play in every single key with the 1, 4, 5 by simply creating a new nut. If you're playing in the key of A major, your new nut will be the 2nd fret, 5 frets up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 7th fret. So that's A, D, and then E. So you're not always stuck with a cigar box, you're not always stuck in the key of G, because that would be quite limiting if you only had one key to play in the whole instrument. But the great thing about it is that by starting at a different point, in this case A, then you've actually got all the chords you need for A major as well. So that is true for every single key you want to play in. So that's your 4-minute lesson. Thank you very much.